the fans anticipating this return when it was announced towards the end of last season. Everybody asking that question, when can I get tickets? Once they went on sale, guys, they went quick. Bobcats are here to bring you the action, at least in the first period, alongside Ken Cal and Larry Fagursky. What a thrill it is for Larry and I to have Ken Cal in Grand Rapids, let alone at a Griffins game. We've been bugging you, trying to get you over here forever. It's the old, what does a postman do on his day off? Go to a hockey game? No. Go for a walk? No.
Well, the good thing is that hockey is back. The fans are here, and this could be an enjoyable game to watch.
Yeah, and you check out Emmett Finney. We were speaking of him. He really good in camp, as Ken will attest to, and playing with Larkin and Raymond to start going here again tonight.
Yeah, amazing how he resonated with several of the media up there, Larry, and then the question was posed for Todd McClellan after yesterday's scrimmage, and it was all about Emmett Finney, and boy, Todd McClellan raving about him.
Well, jumped into that line. This year, probably not here in GR as puck flips over the glass, but just another one of the young stars, and I know Ken was talking earlier, too. There's so many young guys here on the cusp of getting to Detroit and making that next step for the organization.
I didn't travel to Dallas, guys, when they had the prospect game against the Stars prospects, but Finney scored a really good goal, and what really impressed me is his speed down the wing and his way to get to the front of the net. Beautiful goal.
And he's got some size to him, and the thing we point out, Ken, is Larry and I, we saw him 2 years ago when he came out of his completion of his junior season in Kamloops. He looked okay, but last year, the difference from the year before to last year when he joined the Griffins at the end of the season out of Kamloops again, night and day. And now he's carried that over through a hard summer of work, and it showed up on the ice up in Traverse City. So he's one of those guys you can add him to the mix of all the names we'll be talking about here for the next couple of hours of these young prospects that I know a lot of you Red Wing fans have been reading about, hearing about for a while as play underway here in an outside call against the red team. Again, great to have you along with us. Want to thank the Wings for streaming the game today, and thank all of you who are tuned in on both the Wings stream as well as WXSP.
A couple of things I think the Red Wings need to work on this year going into the season is their overall game management. A lot of times they had the lead last year and ended up not getting a point or maybe just won in an overtime loss. But when you're up by 2 goals or maybe even a goal, it's time to shut the other team down. You don't need to be creative. That's one thing. The other thing I think for this team is the penalty kill has to get better.
Amen.
Power play was incredible.
Yeah.
Penalty kill in not such a good way was also incredible.
You have those kind of numbers and give up that many goals per game, you're just fighting an uphill battle if the PK is surrendering a goal or plus a game.
John Gibson in the net down to our right-hand side. And of course, he was the marquee name signed during the season. Of course, dealt in the trade that involved the former Griffin Peter Mrazek.
Travis Hamonic just blocked the shot right there. I think it was Pellica who shot the puck. And welcome to the preseason there, Travis. I mean, first shift on the ice and you block a shot. Well, that's sacrificing the body. He's feeling it a little bit on the bench right now.
The Red Wings a shortened camp up in Traverse City, even shorter next year from my understanding, Ken.
Schedule
the 84-game schedule going to be introduced, and we're talking about starting at the end of September, the regular season, to fit all those games in. Of course, they'll enter an 82-game regular season soon, and training camp and exhibition games underway, and the exhibition season starts Tuesday night at Little Caesars Arena. Correct.
That's right. And it was a good opportunity just moments ago right there too, Bob and Larry, for Seeger, who was off to the side of the net, brought it right to the front of the goal. He actually did a pretty good job there.
Gabriel Seeger out of the University of Maine lit it up. And he was there, and it was a decent season a year ago. His rookie campaign here in Grand Rapids. Here's Marco Kasper. Boy, talk about a guy who's really turned out to be a dandy. How about that shot? Alex DeBrincat from the left wing circle, snapping one into the upper right-hand corner. And the white team jumps on top. 3:10 into the opening period.
Boy, we talked about Marco Kasper really driving the bus here in Grand Rapids. He had a great season up with Kenny and the Wings last year. Pretty effort to get that over the line and get across. And DeBrincat, Mr. Cal said maybe DeBrincat gets 40 this year. You shoot him like that, you're going to get 40 this year. What a pretty shot upstairs, upper right corner for Alex DeBrincat.
Right before the goal, it was Raymond who was at center ice, and I didn't see the other Red Wing player that kind of hooked him in the arm. He wasn't too happy about it. He skated over to the referee saying, hey, where's the penalty right there?
Action back underway down into the white zone where Moritz Seider got a huge ovation, as you may have seen and heard during the introductions prior to the start of the game. He spent his 18-year-old rookie season here in Grand Rapids, and boy, he was way beyond 18 years old, wasn't he, Larry? Both on and off the ice.
Just showed great patience, and you saw all the tools that have made him a really good #1 defenseman in the NHL already.
Yeah, we were predicting this kid is going to be a Norris Trophy winner someday. And
Simon Evanson's not here tonight, and I think Case thought maybe it was a little blasphemy on my part this season, but I'm not so sure. Evanson might be just as good, if not better. I mean, they've got two great defensemen to build around here now.
Well, he was a plus player last year for the Red Wings, and not many plus players on the team.
Yeah, and he also didn't get any penalty time or much power play time, did he, Ken? And he still put up pretty good numbers.
One of the many impressive aspects of Seider's game when he was just 18 years old is, they talk about those kids that come in and play at this level. Now you're playing against men that are on average 24, 25 years old in the American Hockey League, and the physical side of it is where those 18, 19-year-olds can struggle, but not Moritz Seider. Boy,
right.
He just laid out some of the biggest players in the American Hockey League and veteran guys who knew it was coming, and yet Seider still was crushing people at this level at the age of 18. You knew he was going to be something, and still in the early stages of his career, and sky's the limit for Moritz Seider.
The line I want to take a look at is Casper, Kane, and DeBrincat. We saw DeBrincat get the goal, but that line was on fire in the scrimmages that they had up in Traverse City over the last couple of days. In fact, that line contributed for most of the goals scored by the white team.
Pretty crazy how a guy can come up from Grand Rapids, Kenny, and then you're like, wow, he was great with them. He was great in the left wing role on the big line. And he just had such a great year, and we saw that here, like I said, defensively responsible first and foremost in his time in Grand Rapids, and that offense just keeps growing.
One of those guys that goes hard to the front of the net.
Red team coming out with the puck up ice. They go on the left wing. A shot there by John Leonard, who will be looked upon as one of the veteran leaders of the Griffins, and certainly a call-up guy when needed for Detroit. On the play down in front of the red team net, where Shai Bouillon will stretch that puck up the left wing. It goes carrying into the zone to our right. Now back along the line, Albert Johansson. Play it to Shine, back to Johansson, takes a look, leaves it in the middle for Mitchell. This pass back towards Johansson, knocked away. Reaching out with the stick and tipping that one aside. Was Gabriel Seeger. Now puck rolling around the neutral zone. 6 minutes gone here in the opening period again. Great to have you along with us. The red and white game. But, I'm still not sure how many we hosted back in. Most of them were in the early 2000s, Larry. And but they were all sellouts. They were just created a buzz here in West Michigan like you would not believe. And certainly that has returned here over the last couple of weeks. One shot from the point. That one found its way through and might have clipped the mask of John Gibson, who was a little shaken up there, but all right.
I think his stick might have got caught up in the helmet, but yeah, he seems fine now. That was a little scary at first.
Think about John Gibson, guys. Four-time 20-game winner in the National Hockey League. Spent his entire career up until now with the Anaheim Ducks. Seemed like he was always a steady performer, not a lot of wasted movement, and is a really good shot blocker. And I know you were bringing it up to him yesterday about Bob in training camp about how many shots and how many saves he's made in his career.
He broke the record of Guy Hebert, over 12,000 saves, and you kind of forget that he spent his entire career up to this point in Anaheim. His name was certainly bandied about for trade rumors, especially towards the deadline, and that's what happens and when you're a solid goaltender. But the Anaheim Ducks stayed firm, kept him around, and he's had himself a heck of a career and will be looked upon. No pressure at all, right? And he'll be a guest of ours, by the way, during the first intermission, the only intermission of this game. The format, by the way, is 2 20-minute stop time periods and then a 16-minute intermission. And during that intermission, we'll be chatting with John Gibson, we'll be chatting with Patrick Kane, and we'll also visit with Marco Kasper. Here's Lucas Raymond with the puck. Is he a 100-point guy someday, Ken?
I think so.
Yeah, I do too.
tough to get 100 points anymore in the NHL, isn't it?
Well, his numbers keep improving each and every year. He was the leading scorer last year for Detroit, and he's going to be out. I think he's going to have another solid year. Just got to stay healthy. Played all 82 games last year for the Red Wings.
You know, the three of us have been around for about 200 years combined in hockey. Do you remember the days when not only 100 points were more than attainable, but how many guys did you have that had 120 points, 130 points, 80 points, whatever, but had 200 or 300 penalty minutes to go along with it? Now you hardly see anybody beyond 200 penalty minutes.
Game's changed a little bit.
Yeah, they have.
A lot.
For the puck along the left wing boards, Andre Becker over there. Center onto the near side. Now tap back into the right wing corner where they bust in after it.
There's Carter Bear. Keep an eye on him. He was the first overall pick. He's wearing uniform number 41 for the Red Wings this past draft.
Yeah, but 82 points in, 56 games last year. Ooh.
Soderblom in. Shot, score! Elmer Soderblom snapping a wrister between the legs of Cam Talbot to put the white team up 2-0.
That's the biggest thing we've seen about Elmer and his growth in Grand Rapids and his time in Detroit. He's just got such incredible hands for a big man. You watch the replay as he comes over the line, just pushes it into his feet a little bit, pulls it, and then fires it back. It appeared near side for the 2-0 lead on Cam Talbot.
Amadeus Lombardi makes the good play there, Larry.
Yep.
Drops the puck to Soderblom, then takes out the defenseman, giving Soderblom an angle into that slot area, and a good spot to shoot it, which he did. Use the screen a little bit, and nice play all the way around. Lombardi, we've talked about him, and Red Wing fans have heard that name. Terrific offensively. He's got NHL skills. He continues to work on the defensive side of the puck, no doubt.
Sure did learn to create space for himself last year. Showed a lot more confidence going to the net, strong with the puck. He had a really good year, and we'll see if he can take that next step on the defensive side, as you mentioned, this year in Grand Rapids to get an opportunity up in Detroit.
You guys have seen Nate Danielson. He's out on the ice now wearing uniform number 29. He just fed it right out in front. But how has he performed last year with the Grand Rapids Griffins, guys?
Well, for me, he's one of those guys, Ken, you see certain players that are really good, responsible defensively at first, and that seems to be the hardest thing to teach kids. He came in and did that. Casper did it. I think we were talking earlier. Val Philpott was a guy like that. So he's so good defensively and responsible in his own end. I think the offense will come, and I think that'll come easier than trying to teach a guy the defensive side. But he's been impressive, and you can see why. He was a #1 pick, and while he'll get an opportunity to play with you guys in Detroit.
Yeah, definitely got the skill sets, and that's what's great for us, Ken, as you know, to watch these guys, see them early on. You know, you've got thoughts in your mind. You know, can this kid make it? What does he need to work on? Danielson, you could see right away, was going to be a guy that's probably going to own the American Hockey League at some point. How quickly will he get to the National Hockey League? Well, it could be this year.
Yeah.
He's got the skills, and there's no question about that. And it was fun to watch him blossom. He got really good towards the end of the season, very confident towards the end of the season for Grand Rapids.
And we see that with certain guys. Remember how Casper was? He was okay, then he was leading the way, then he was driving the bus right through the playoffs. And our best guy, and obviously he's had a great run in Detroit. Whoa.
John Gibson letting that one slide right through the goal crease, not wanting to negate what turns out to be an icing call. You know, Casper was so impressive because, like you said, Larry, he was literally, by season's end, the Griffins' best player.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was on a team with some awfully gifted offensive players, and then he was definitely the best player. I remember talking to several scouts during the postseason, just really impressed with Marco Casper's play, and then look what he accomplished last year. Much like he did here, Ken, in Grand Rapids, how much better he got as the year wore along, his rookie campaign, and then he did the same thing, that same progression in Detroit a year ago, and by season's end, he was one of the best forwards on their Wings team.
I was talking to him a little bit. We'll hear the interview in the intermission, icing call on the play, but he was talking about how he really liked Pavel Datsyuk, watching him play, and Henrik Zetterberg, and they were really good two-way players, and that's the kind of player he wants to be and is slowly becoming that in the NHL.
Well, 2-0 score here. Back with more in a moment from downtown Grand Rapids. This is the Red and White game on WXSP TV and DetroitRedWings.com, presented by Corewell Health.
Welcome back to a sold-out Van Andel Arena. That's right. And believe me, we'll be pounding our chest to the hockey world, letting them know that in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Detroit Red Wings scrimmage game at 11,000 people and sold out a couple of weeks ago. Great to have you along with us on DetroitRedWings.com, WXSP, Bob Kaiser, Ken Cal, and Larry Figurski. We're going to have some fun here today, and be patient with us. We're probably not going to call every piece of the action down on the ice because we've got a lot of players to talk about here and offer up our opinions and certainly paraphrase the coaches. And the GM Steve Yzerman had a great gathering before the game with our longtime season ticket holders, 250 people out in the conference room to listen to Steve Yzerman and Sean Horkoff, and Todd McClellan addressed the crowd. It was terrific. So we'll give you as much insights into those activities as we can.
One of the things that Todd McClellan was talking about yesterday, right before they broke for Grand Rapids here today, was he wants his players to put their foot on the gas and not play tentative. And that's something he said that happened a little bit last year where they put the brakes on a little bit, but he wants them to go on the attack, go after teams this year. And he says, we can fix mistakes. Just go out there and play, as he calls it, play hockey, but get your foot on the gas and go after the opposition.
Yeah, it sounds like for Todd McClellan, he wants to have a lineup that he's going to start the season with about 2 or 3 games in the preseason remaining. So it could be that the Griffins, for those of you Grand Rapids fans, might have their team assembled here sooner than normal in anticipation of their first game on October the 10th down in Austin, Texas. Red Wings, of course, the night before, Ken, will host the Montreal Canadiens on October the 9th at Little Caesars Arena.
Challenging schedule as the goaltender makes the save right there, but that's Cam Talbot. But yeah, you got some tough battles right off the get-go. You got Montreal. They're going to be an improved team this year. Back-to-back games against the Maple Leafs, the home and home. You got Florida, the Stanley Cup champs coming in, Tampa Bay, the Edmonton Oilers. So the first 6 games of the season are going to be a challenge for Detroit.
You talked about earlier a little bit, Ken, how difficult the Atlantic is. You need someone to fall off. Boston has fallen off in recent years, but here comes Ottawa and Montreal, etc. So it's going to be tough in that division.
You got to think the Rangers are going to bounce back this year too, and who knows with Boston, Toronto. No Mitch Marner. What are they going to have? But certainly they're still pretty deep, right?
Oh yeah, they're better in goal too. Good defensively. And I think that's been their area of improvement over the last year.
We'll talk a little bit about which teams Larry Figurski and Ken Cal think are a lock, if there is such a thing, to make the playoffs, and what does that leave the Red Wings with? How many spots might be available? Now, here comes the Red across the line. Oh, great save as John Gibson, moving from his left to right, makes a terrific stop there on John Leonard to keep the Red team off the scoreboard.
Yeah, great push from the left to right side there. And we talked about getting better, consistent goaltending in Detroit. I mean, and Ken will attest to it. You've had some great play in there. At times it's the consistency that they need. They hope John Gibson can provide some of that, and those of you just saw the replay of Gibson sliding across, made a great push from left to right on that stop.
That play was made by Danielson, though. What a great effort he made to get that pass across.
White team trying to clear the puck out of their own end. Austin Watson backing into shine there, now allowing Sheldon Dries to gobble up the puck.
Nice.
And across the line they'll go on left wing. Seeger to Watson, down the boards he goes to Dries behind the net. Sheldon Dries from the Western Michigan Bronco, a proud Bronco, no doubt, after his alma mater won the NCAA title. Boy, I think some excitement down in Kalamazoo, with Bronco hockey and a new facility being built in downtown Kalamazoo. That Ferschwater, former Red Wing assistant coach, has done a terrific job.
As he ever.
Building a very strong program. They've been strong for a long time, but exceptional right now. Puck out at center ice, Ante Tuomisto, who will very likely begin the season with Grand Rapids. Big, rangy, right-handed shooting defenseman. Got to work on that skating.
Yeah, that's pretty much, isn't it? Foot speed case. Otherwise, he's got the size. He's got a fantastic shot.
Emmett Finney just got spun around, and he exited the ice on the white team bench. He's wearing red, and he's obviously in a lot of pain.
No, that's not good.
He just needed to get off the ice, and therefore don't see that very often, although these guys are all teammates. Yeah, he's hobbling.
Yeah.
That right leg. Boy, that's not good.
Nope, he's not putting any pressure on that right leg as he's making his way to the end of the Team Red bench. Yeah, we're talking about him, and we're talking about how good he looked in Traverse City, and it's unfortunate that here in a red-white game, hopefully he'll be okay.
Well, that might even be a skate issue, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, the good news is Brad Thompson, dog.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's a good sign.
He's the guy working on him, so I think it's an equipment issue.
Which is great.
Thank goodness, yeah. Lay down the white zone to our right puck taken away. In front score. Look at that shot. Jonathan Berggren. Boy, we're seeing some of these guys that really need to emerge and have big seasons for Detroit. We were talking earlier about that. Rasmussen, Berggren, another one, and each of them have scored goals in this one.
Well, we've seen him be a top goal scorer in the American Hockey League, lead the entire league. That's a great example of why he buried that one upstairs. But Ken talked about the earlier setup before that. Lagesson does a great job here, off to the side of the net, and then just rolls it out in the shooting lane, puts it right on the mark to Berggren, who buries it, and it's a 2-1 game.
Soderblom, as we mentioned, had one of the goals. Amadeus Lombardi busting in, leading into the D and getting a shot off that missed the target.
Yeah, I really like those defensemen getting those points, too. They're involved in the offense, and that was nice by Lagesson.
Pretty setup indeed.
Where will he be this year? The thought is right now, probably Grand Rapids. Of course, he spent all that time in Detroit. Red Wings, of course, didn't play him much, but it was insurance policy, and no doubt, meanwhile, the Griffins missed him, boy. You ask all the Griffins players, and they felt like that was a big difference for this team in the last couple of months of the campaign.
You see the positioning on Gibson right there? He was in the right position, just made that kick pad save like it looked like nothing.
Soderblom with the puck on right wing, tried to jam it down low, knocked away, but the white team retains control. Here's pass along the near side, trying to cruise in there was Hamonic. Now taken away, and up the ice goes the red team with Dominic Shine. On in the right wing corner, he of course drew a huge ovation here. Let's see, he's got to be ranked, Larry, in the top 10 most popular players to have ever worn a Griffin uniform, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I might even get it closer to 5, but yes.
Top 5, yeah.
He's just been a great guy here, great veteran. You know what you get from him every shift, and he's a great guy for the young kids that are here developing for Detroit to see how a veteran guy works, especially a guy who, well, let's be honest, in all likelihood is not going to spend much time in the NHL the rest of the way. He finally got his chance, but he shows him how to play every shift, to work hard, to be responsible, and the Wings have done a nice job of keeping solid veterans here in Grand Rapids for young guys to learn work ethics, etc.
Commitment to community, too, and
yes,
a city like Grand Rapids, not near as big as Detroit. You get out there and do as much as Dominic Shine does, and even the non-hockey fans are going to eventually meet him, and everybody impressed with him. Terrific young guy.
Amen.
You got the Larkin line against the Casper line out there, so you got head-to-head action here.
There you go. That's good.
Long shot from the right point through traffic, found its way through to Gibson, who made the save. 4:10 to go in this opening period. One of two periods, and for those of you who are tuned in as a Red Wing fan, of course, Red Wings and Griffins, you'll be happy to know that Ken Calv will, in fact, be calling the play-by-play of period number 2.
Getting the rust off.
Yeah, we haven't had him here since the, I think it was red and white game, what, Ken, we did back in like 04 or so it's been a while.
Yeah, how long ago that was? I think Shanahan and Eisman was still playing,
they were.
Ooh.
It's amazing when you think about those days, too, guys. Remember the bus pulling into the dock behind the building here, Larry, and you'd see the one Hall of Fame potential guy right after the other filing off that bus. And Holmstrom, and Datsuk, and Shanahan, Chelios, Osgood, of course, not in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how it is he isn't in the Hall of Fame, but hopefully still to come. And there's some of the footage right there that we'll take a look at.
Stevie right off the top there. I'm assuming that's Osgood in the 30, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that was a big night. They were lined up, folks, here in Van Andel before the gates opened, down around the corner of the building and out down the street. There was a great interest in coming here. And Bob mentioned earlier 11,000 for the folks who aren't from Grand Rapids. Let's just point out it's because that's all it holds. They would have sold 22,000 real easy. If this was LCA size, it would have sold out as well. Great interest and love. The fans here in Grand Rapids love the Red Wings and love being a part of the franchise with the affiliate here.
And you know what? Every fan has a uniform on. It looks like a red or white sweater.
It does.
Red Wings cruising in. Good rink wide pass. Soderblom throwing, or Rasmussen throwing it across onto the right wing to Kopp, who launched a one-timer just wide.
Speaking of sweaters, how do you like the 100th anniversary
Wow.
sweaters. They're
Oh,
pretty nice,
impressive.
aren't they?
Aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got a little video of that. We'll show it a little bit later on. I know all of you in Wings Nation have probably seen that video and seen the jersey, but boy, when we saw it in person up in Traverse City, Ken, wow, that is really impressive. Here's Carter Mazur with a nifty move, carries the puck down behind the net. Good patience with that puck. Off it back left point. Valinder throws it across. Well, they'll send one towards the goal, and that's going to deflect up out of play with 2:17 to go. 2-1. The white team on top. Soderblom a goal. Berggren the lone tally for the red team.
Had to break it open to scoring.
Look at Brensek, knee guard. Boy, much like Casper was the year before, he might have been the best player in the playoffs for Grand Rapids
Yeah.
last season, Larry.
We have a penalty coming.
Yeah, penalty coming up against
An
the
elbowing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, high stick, sorry. Well, they do want to work on the power play, and I know it's been pointed out, and maybe the folks who are watching today didn't know. They will, at times, maybe in the second period probably, just decide they're going to go create a power play opportunity so they can work on special teams at both ends. So that will happen. It'll be fluid in period number 2, but we'll finally get a look at it here. And as Mr. Cal pointed out earlier, the power play was good last year. They got to improve the PK, but the power play was good last year.
Top 5 in the NHL.
Yeah.
I think that's Sandin Pellikka
Yes.
who got the high sticking call.
And that might be the most anticipated guy to come to Grand Rapids in quite a while.
So much so, Larry, I remember when he was in Rockford and made his debut with Grand Rapids. I just was watching him in practice, just mesmerized. Like, here he is. We're finally seeing this kid that we've been hearing so much about for the last couple of years. And there he is in a Griffin uniform, set to make his pro debut, and that he did, and did not disappoint, although I think he would be the first one to tell you he was a little more overwhelmed by the American Hockey League than most people had thought, even himself.
Yeah, I think watching him, you could tell there's going to be an adjustment with it.
Sider with the puck to Kane, and here's a look at one of the most dominating power plays ever. Sider cruising down the slot with a shot, the save and the rebound. Oh, nice stop there by Cam Talbot, and now Sider.
Sider and
Going at it.
Comfort.
Is that Larkin?
I think it's Comfort.
Comfort, JT
Comfort,
Comfort.
yeah, there you go.
Comfort either got his stick knocked out of his hands or knocked someone else's out of his hands. Yes, he got his stick knocked out of his hands, and he was not happy about it. Gave a little shove, and then Mo came in.
I think
right
Comfort
after
stole
that.
his stick.
Yeah, I think he did.
And they're still yapping at one another as they go off.
I think what it was Comfort stole the stick of Mo Sider
Yeah,
at the end.
because he had lost his. That's funny.
Well, Todd McClellan talked about the intensity picked up yesterday up in Traverse City and the last day of camp.
And Max Vogel was telling me that today. Did you guys notice that it was
We
just
did,
much
yeah.
more physical? And
Some guys playing for keeps.
yeah, well,
And certainly Conference Cider were right there.
let's be honest. They're all playing for something all the time because someone's always trying to take the job too. So
Back in the olden days, he'd have about 4 or 5 fights
that's
in
right.
training.
By now,
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd,
under a minute left.
you'd have seen about 6 fights already in this red-white game.
Now Leonard with
nice.
a puck right. Oh, good play there. Puck kind of rolled off his stick when he went to pull the trigger, and therefore the shot missed the goal. But the Wings holding it in. Cup another chance on a shot that's knocked down. Out in front, lifted up over the glass, but deflecting into the seats, so there'll be no penalty called with 28 seconds to go in the power play.
Nice job by Leonard, just feeding that out into small space out in front for a good opportunity right on the doorstep.
Well, I guess you could say it's good penalty killing right now.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
The power play, well, they've had some chances, I guess.
You know this power play will be successful.
I
There's
think
just
you're
too
rooting
many
for the
names.
penalty kill
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
right.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him go up the ladder a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
32nd in the league isn't very good.
No. You know, but the strength of your power play, Ken, if the PK's middle of the pack
Yeah.
in the NHL, you're doing pretty well when you put them together.
You probably make the playoffs if
Yeah.
it's a little better last year. Here's Kane now, up the ice through center ice. He'll scoop it in on the right side, a return pass. That one knocked down as DeBrincat tried to get it back to him. 12 seconds to go. Here's Comfort with a puck the other way, short-handed.
Guess who went after him again?
Yeah, Sider hammered him along the boards. And we'll have to keep an eye on those two the rest of the way. As the horn's going to sound in the first period, they are back together and having a conversation out in front of the bench across the way.
Who'd have thought that?
All right, our first intermission and the only intermission coming up.
Well, you know, after the game, they're going to get together and probably have a beer or something, right? And say, hey, let's talk about this. Yeah.
All right, stay with us. Our first intermission, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll begin a series of interviews with John Gibson, Patrick Kane, and Marco Kasper. Hear from those guys. And then we've got another period of hockey to be played here. Great to have you along with us from downtown Grand Rapids. A sold-out Van Andel Arena, 10,834 watching a scrimmage game between the Red Wings and the Red Wings. I play a legend, no doubt. We talked about the legends that came to Van Andel Arena in the past as members of the Red Wings, and the legends to be in the current form of the Wings with Larkin and DeBrincat and Kane and Sider, etc. And, of course, up here in the broadcast booth, the legendary Ken Cal.
The People's Announcer.
The People's Announcer will call the action in period number 2, and this is the final 20 minutes of hockey in this format.
Well, thanks, Bob. Thanks, Larry. Great to be here, and we certainly enjoy the people watching on our stream and also on local television here as Team White jumped out to a 2-0 lead on goals by DeBrincat and Soderblom. Jonathan Berggren put the Team Red team on the board, so that's where we stand 2-1. Team Red out shooting Team White 14-8 in that opening period. There's DeBrincat to open the scoring, rolls that puck around the near side boards. It goes into the corner. Pile up there as it's moved it back in behind the goal, and Team Red will start the attack. So we got power against power again out there. Finney's picking it up for Team Red, not a Dylan Larkin. Hands it off down low, swings it out in front, and that was intercepted by Kane, back checking on the play.
Emmett Finney, just to confirm again, back in that first period, a little bit of a scare when he went hobbling off the ice. At first thought maybe an ankle or a knee, but it turned out Brad Thompson was the guy to meet him at the bench, and that was a good sign because Brad is the equipment guy.
Always good when Brad is dealing with you and not the athletic therapist.
Those are the guys like Paul Boyer in Detroit. They have to be alert every single time that the action's on the ice.
Oh, and they are amazing at it, aren't they? Whether they got to fix a piece of equipment or get a broken stick to somebody on the fly, they are so good at what they do.
Here's JT Comfrey, mix it up a little bit with Mo Sider at the end of the first period, moves down the ice and sweeps it in behind the Team White goal. Jacob Bernard Docker goes in after it. Centering attempt comes back into the high slot. Justin Hall with a shot, and he hit the goal post. He just missed, tying it up for Team Red right there.
Wow.
Looked like he might have hit the crossbar in the post where it meets.
Oohs and ahs from the crowd here as Team Red tried to tie it up. Now a puck stolen in front. Lombardi to Soderblom, scores right there. A beautiful play, and it's 3-1.
Well, we talked about Ammo and his ascent last season here in Grand Rapids, finding space there. It's just a pretty play across, and Elmer Soderblom, the big guy, buries it. He's got 2 here tonight, and he's one of those guys trying to get on that top line. You know, who's going to play with Larkin and Raymond on that line, and does he have a chance to be that guy? And he's had a good showing here tonight in a 3-1 White lead.
And on exhibit right there again, what we have talked about for a while, Larry, that offensive skill that Amadeus Lombardi brings to the table. No doubt he's got NHL skill. He's got to refine other parts of his game, and he'll be a Red Wing someday.
Yeah, Todd McClellan talking about what an opportunity is for Soderblom, Larry, as you were mentioning, trying to get on that top line.
Yeah.
He says if you're not excited about that, maybe you shouldn't be playing.
Exactly. And we talked about Finney getting a chance to be really good in camp with them. You know, that maybe that does spark a little bit of the other guys. In this case, Soderblom. Hey, guys, that position's there, and there's another young kid going after it. So see what you can do. But Elmer, obviously, big body, great hands.
3-1 lead in favor of Team White. Both teams in the middle of a change right now as the puck is played in behind the goal. Christensen scooping it up and heads up ice. Swings it off the stick of Watson up across the Team Red blue line. Now chipped back out to center ice. Christensen lays it across, and Ben Sherratt will play it over. And Sherratt has a big role to play on this Red Wing team. Provides a little physical presence on there for the blue line.
Yeah, where do they play him? I mean, is he at the top pair with Sider again? Where is he in the top 4? And decide that here during the preseason.
2 goals in the game for Soderblom. Sherratt scoops it up, swings it around the boards. Puck stolen for a moment, not cleared away, and all the way down the ice.
Soderblom 4 shots on goal, tops in the game so far. He and Kasper both with 3 shots apiece in the opening period to lead the way.
We've got 2 different goaltenders in. We'll get to the update just a moment. Here's Larkin, picks it up, shoots, and that one's blocked right out in front of the goal. Raymond on the rebound, sidestep the check up to Brinkett. Now rolls it into the corner for Sider, tapped it in behind the Team White goal. Sebastian Kosa in the goal to our right, wearing uniform number 33, and that's Michael Pastava in goal for Team White right now.
Yeah, a guy that we'll see here in Grand Rapids this year with Kosa. At least that seems to be the plan right now.
Actually, Pastava had a pretty good year in the Czech League last year. Pretty good save percentage at around .920, I believe it was, so he had a really good year. In fact, I think his team won the championship.
Yeah, always interesting to see how those guys played in Europe, adjust to the game here. And some do, some don't. He'll get his chance this year.
Yeah, 239 goals against in 42 games last year.
What was that save percentage, Bob?
And it was exactly .920, Kevin.
Wow. Don't doubt the people's announcer.
I just took a guess.
And again, don't doubt the people's announcer.
Penalty coming up right now. It'll be our second time we're seeing the power play and penalty killers. Little tripping call, I think.
Yeah, Lucas Raymond's going to go. He and Kane ran into each other a short time ago. Actually, that's DeBrincat. Alex DeBrincat will head to the penalty box below, so another chance to work on a power play.
Guys, special teams so important in the National Hockey League. You look at what wins games, and it seems like in today's game, you got to be good on the power play. You got to be good at killing penalties, and your goaltender's got to be good as well.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, your power play was so good in Detroit, you really just needed a middle of the pack PK to try to balance that off. So hopefully they can be better in that regard.
And there's a player that's not here today that'll help on the power play, probably on the second unit on the power play, and James Van Riemsdyk. Veteran player who knows how to put the puck in the net.
He's had a lot of success. I mean, it's been a while now, but he's had a lot of success in the league doing that.
All right, let's see what happens right here as it's Team Red trying to get back into this game. They trail by a pair. Sandine Pellica, a little behind the back feed to Berggren, who has a goal. Berggren scooping it up now, left circle, floats it down low, pass out in front, rolls back towards the line of Berggren again.
Nice job to try to get that on front from Comfer.
Pellica, right circle, feed, a shot, and Pastava comes up with a save.
Yeah, makes that look pretty easy, eh? Slides off to the left side, gets it with the right pad, face off to his left. With a minute 20 still to go in the power play opportunity for the White.
I'm actually hoping that Team White will test Sebastian Kosa. I want to see him get some work here today.
Yeah, perhaps maybe nobody has more eyes on him than Sebastian Kosa in the organization right now. And Ken, we and I were talking about it before as the puck's cleared down the ice. He, at times here in Grand Rapids, Kenny, you're like, that's a number one pick. You can tell he's got great athleticism, moves so well side to side for a big guy. Then there's times when he struggled. So they're hoping year 4 gets him over the hump here.
Yeah, more so down the stretch. You remember, Larry, too, when they started rotating the 3 goaltenders that were here last year, and that kind of disrupted Kosa, according to him. He likes to play on a more consistent, regular basis.
Well, that makes sense, too.
There's Raymond now, still on the power play. Stick handling, moves it back towards the blue line. Raymond gets the feed again into the high slot. Surveying the situation, rolls it down low, left side of the ice. Swung back to the line. Raymond, right circle feed to Danielson. Fumbled the puck a little bit. Rolls it back to the point to Gustafsson. In the slot, a shot taken. That's off his stick and out of play.
Nice job by the White, really keeping everything out on the perimeter. Don't let him get anything inside, and the only shot attempt ends up off the glass, tipped away.
How exciting is the National Hockey League that can boast of, and of course, it's a long ways to go still. Sebastian Kosa will enter his 4th year pro, his 3rd in Grand Rapids. At least that's the plan. So Jimmy Howard took 4 years in Grand Rapids before he graduated to the National Hockey League. Jimmy Howard turned out to be a great goaltender in National Hockey League, 3-time All-Star. I think Kosa's got maybe a little more upside, Larry, than...
Yeah, I would think so.
There's no doubt. And then you add that Trey Augustine to the mix. Oh, my goodness. If those two guys both pan out, there's your 1-2 tandem for how many years to come?
You're right. And in a system when we a lot of times look about lottery picks, when you're talking about young kids being drafted, if one of the two hits and is a great goalie, you're in pretty good shape. But right now, both of them are on that trajectory to be guys that I think people think could be starting goalies in the NHL.
Well, it's amazing. No two players are alike. And some goalies, it takes them longer to adjust and adapt. And other goaltenders like Vasilevsky comes in and actually is pretty solid.
Yeah, that's true. Even all the players here developing at different stages.
Make no mistake about it. Larry and I are still, for whatever that's worth, big Sebastian Kosa fans. I mean, we really think he's going to be an outstanding NHL goaltender.
Yeah.
Well, Larry and Bob, you got to like the penalty kill so far. They're 2 for 2.
How about that, huh?
And if you're a power play guy, you're not so happy right now, right? 0 for 2.
Yeah, the power play will work.
Again, there were nights last year when they got shut down, and it's like you almost wonder how teams stopped the Red Wings from scoring on the power play.
Nice.
Even when they didn't, they always had 2 or 3 golden opportunities.
I still think, and I believe, this is just my opinion, you win more games with a solid penalty kill than you are with the power play.
Absolutely.
If your penalty kill is better than your power play, you're going to win a lot more games.
I agree with you.
Buck shot the length of the ice. This is an icing call against Team White. Again, the score is Team White 3 and Team Red 1. Goal scores for Team White. DeBrincat Soderblom has a pair, Soderblom and Berggren for Team Red.
Larkin and Leonard, the only +2 players in the opening period.
You talk about the young defensemen on their way up the ranks. Of course, Sandin Pellikka will begin his first full season in pro hockey, likely here in Grand Rapids. You've got Bouillon and Belinder coming off solid seasons and progressing quite nicely. And then the other one that we talk about a lot is Anton Johansson, guys. And Larry and I got a chance to marvel at his, not just his skills, but his personality, his composure, and his toughness as a member of the Griffins at the end of last season. He's a mean dude, and he won't hesitate. He's an old school hockey guy and won't hesitate taking your head off in front of the net.
There's another player that I'm keeping my eye on. He's in the Russian League, Beshelnikov, who actually has been putting up some pretty good numbers over there.
Yeah, he is a talent, eh?
And he might be ready to move over next year, but he seems like he's getting bigger and stronger, and he's able to put that puck in the net.
Yeah, sometimes I think if you don't see him all the time, we get that advantage here of the young kids that have been drafted by the Wings, but there are so many kids in the system right now, draft picks. It's a process, obviously, to get them up, and some have been there in Detroit, but there's a lot of kids coming with potential to be Red Wings for the next 2 years.
Here's Kane to Casper, moving in with a shot, and he fired it wide. Kosa looked behind him for a moment there. That was a blistering shot from the right point. Puck came out to center. Sider shot it back in, and they tag up, and now out to center ice. It's lifted back into the Team White zone. Sider never missed a game in the National Hockey League.
It's amazing.
Got that Iron Man streak going, and what a terrific player he's been.
And a young guy who's been put in the most difficult role possible.
Jam for that puck in along the boards and behind the net. Lucas Raymond on his horse to pick it up, and now he moves ahead. Cuts to the center of the ice, out towards the center ice circle. Raymond up across the line, drops it over to Dylan Larkin, who poked it to Raymond, who swished it around the board. Finney after the puck. Sider jammed it away from him. Finney continues to work, got it to Larkin down low. Swings in behind the Team White goal, laid it back towards the blue line. Hall with a shot, and he fired that one wide. Of course, all teams now in the NHL, they like using that point man and getting that big booming shot. Who would you say has a really good shot on the blue line?
Here, I've Antti Tuomisto.
Really?
Might have the biggest booming shot we have here. As Kay said, probably needs to work on that, his foot speed a little bit to play at the level with you guys. But big shot, big body. I mean, he can really let it fly.
You say his shot is better than Martin Ferk? Or,
well, I don't know. Ferk and Teemu Pokkanen get into a unique area.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite to the level of Ferk, but it's certainly more accurate.
Yeah, Ferk's is like a shotgun. You're not sure where it's going, but boy, could he fire that puck.
That's why you don't like guys standing in front of the net, right?
That's
If you're a player,
right.
you're like, I'm getting out of the way.
Exactly.
Soderblom's got 2 goals. He's out there right now for Team White. Lombardi picking it up in the corner. He's mashed in along the corner boards. Puck squirts loose, and Team Red will bring it forward. Sandin Pellikka chipping it ahead.
That's going to be one of the most watched guys here. Look at this.
Pass in front. Good defensive play right there by Carter Mazur to knock away that 2-on-1 opportunity. I think the Red Wings lead the National Hockey League in hyphenated last names this year.
Oh, boy. Please don't send Bernard Docker down.
Bernard Docker, Sandin Pellikka, Ranseg Nygaard.
Yeah.
Pass in front, and Kosa with some traffic just manages to hang on to the puck.
How happy were we as broadcasters when Otto Magnuson got sent back? Carl Otto Magnuson got sent back to his junior team.
3-1 game here right now, White on top.
Hey, you know what? We can live with that if those guys are helping lead the Griffins to it. It's been a long time since we won a cup, Larry. We've got to bring that thing back here.
Yeah. 2017, the second of 2 and 5 seasons for the Griffins.
There's Danielson trying to go after the puck now, moved it away from Shootout to the blue line. Quick snapper on goal, knocked away by Stava rather, as the puck is rolled around the near side boards. 3-1 hockey game in favor of Team White. Soderblom leading the way offensively with a couple of goals. Brinkett scoring the opening goal of the game. Berggren for Team Red. And a sneaky pass right there, Larry, through the goal mouth.
Tied up, was kind of off his balance, and still was able to slide it through the cross. Nobody to connect with, though.
Here's Sider moving in with a shot. That's blocked right out in front. Out to center ice, and Danielson is knocked down from behind as the play continues back into the Team Red zone.
Sider's having fun today. He's engaged with everybody.
So sure he was expecting that here today, but
I don't think so.
Certainly got involved. Long shot taken, that's knocked away. Christensen fired that one from the blue line.
He was a beloved player here. People knew he was going to be a great player in the NHL and an all-star, and they really enjoyed his efforts here.
Patrick Kane wanted to one-time the shot, but it got a little bit in front of him as he could not stop it. Now Marco Kasper sends it out in front. A sneaky backhand looking for a tip in front. Kosa knocked it away with some help.
Yeah, nice little job just spinning free of the corner to create that lane along the goal line to get to the net as well.
Team Red changing on the go, down to 7:55 to go, second period. This is our final period. We'll have a little shootout after. Treat the fans here.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Especially with Larry on the call.
No.
we were bugging Larry earlier. I'll take the first. Ken Cal's got the second, and Fagurski's going to call the shootout.
I feel bad enough doing play-by-play when you're not here. I'm not touching that when Ken Cal's in the building as well.
Got to get the rust out, Larry.
Yeah.
All right, puck in behind the goal. Rasmussen scooping it up.
Nice.
Dropped it back towards the line, held in nicely there, and it's shot wide of the goal, tipped in front by Kopp. I think the Red Wings are looking to have a good year from Kopp. He was a little bit injured towards the end of last season. But good two-way forward, and expect a lot of good things from him this year.
And he was playing pretty well right before that injury, wasn't he, Ken?
Yep. Kopp will pick it up, swing it up the right side, held in. Here's a shot, tipped out in front, and Kosa in the right position to make the save.
Appleton, I think, reached out away from the net, got that off the heel to stick and changed that direction for the save by Kosa.
And Bob, that's a player that the Red Wings picked up in the offseason, Appleton, who's going to be a good, solid fourth-line player and penalty killer.
Former Michigan State Spartan. We got to see him play in this building actually quite a bit when he broke in with the Winnipeg Jets organization, of course playing for their American League affiliate, the Manitoba Moose.
Yep.
And you could see he was going to be a good National Hockey League player, and now we'll get a chance to see him back close to home again as a member of the Red Wings. Another guy you expect big things out of, I think, this year too, Ken, at least a bigger season maybe in JT Compher.
Yep. He's another one of those really good, solid two-way players. And a lot of times you use him to check some of the better players on the other team as the puck is rolled now and behind the Team White goal.
And Compher made a nice play to that last opportunity out in front for the red team.
It's Austin Watson, always a crowd favorite here in Grand Rapids, and he'll dump it in.
He changed a lot of players here, Ken. Just the people obviously feel a little safer with him around, but his energy was infectious on this team, and he played a big role for the Griffins last year. Scored a lot of goals, too.
Just a great guy, too. Had a nice, long conversation with him last season as a shot's taken, and Kosa in a crouch position comes up with a glove hand save.
Nice to hold on there with traffic right out in front.
So guys, what are your thoughts on Eastern Conference? Who's a lock for the playoffs?
Well, you have to look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they're going to be strong, even though without Mitch Marner in the lineup. I just think that they're better defensively, well-coached team. Florida might struggle a little bit early on because Tkachuk had surgery. So
I don't care if they're a 1 or an 8 seed. I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs, though. But
they played a lot of hockey over the last 3 years. Won back-to-back Stanley Cups, but they're always dangerous. Tampa Bay will be dangerous too.
Yeah, Carolina's got to be a shoe-in. Toronto's probably a shoe-in.
It's tough. Another team too, guys, is New Jersey. They dealt with a lot of injuries last year, and you've got to know they're going to be stay healthy. They'll be a really tough team.
Yeah, and right there we just named off, about 6 of the 8 spots already?
Out of those, like, who is a lock? Like, Florida's a lock. Carolina's a lock, right? I mean,
I would think so.
It'd take a massive collapse for those teams not to get in.
I would think Toronto's a lock.
Toronto's got to be a lock. Tampa. What about Washington?
I don't know about Washington.
Yeah, I know that. They had a really good year last year.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Here's the Brinkett making his way in.
Oh.
Tried to play it across the Kane. He was bothered. The puck now scooped up and lifted out to center ice. Brandsegg Nygaard got it up across the line. Now in after it, hustling after it is John Leonard. Back to the blue line it comes. Hansen hands it off. Shot down by Bernard Docker and around the end boards. Docker's not going to score you a lot of goals, but he's pretty solid back there on the blue line. Bernard Docker with a shot from the line. Save made. Estava, and the rebound cleared off to center ice.
Now, Brandsegg Nygaard is a guy, too, we're going to get a chance to watch here. Look out.
Here's Kopp moving in, and he got the shot away. Kosa looked behind him on the rebound chance taken by Michael Rasmussen, went in behind him.
I think it may have went off the post behind him and kicked back out.
That's another player that I think the Red Wings would like to see his numbers pick up a little bit, Michael Rasmussen.
Yeah, absolutely. Big guy. He does a nice job protecting the puck with his physicality. He was a big, big goal scorer before he came here. I don't think they necessarily need him to be that.
Oh, good play. Danielson across the shot. They score right there. Finney picking it up off the left side, shooting it in. It's a one-goal game, 3-2.
We talked about Lucas Raymond setting up plays, and boy, was this a pretty little feed across. You just wait. We'll give you looking on the replay here. Look at him chip around the defenseman, and then Raymond at the top of the circle fakes the shot and then puts it right across in the perfect spot for the empty net goal. That's a pretty goal, and we've got a one-goal hockey game now at 3-2.
Well, the rust is not settled in. I called him Danielson, so good play there by Lucas Raymond, who continues to just shine. And there's Emmett Finney with the goal.
That guy's got a chance to blossom into like just an NHL star, don't you think, Raymond?
Oh, I think he already is.
I mean, I know, but I'm talking about like a Premier League player.
Well, that's the moral of that story we were talking about, Larry. The number of teams that are just about locks to qualify for the playoffs again. That means for Detroit, and they're certainly knocking on that door. But they're going to have to get big contributions from Kopp and Comfer and some of the young guys. Appleton, he's got to have his best season yet.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take. But it's there. They can do it.
Well, they're knocking on the door, but so is Montreal, so is Ottawa.
Right.
I mean, I know they were in, but there's a lot of other improvements.
What about Buffalo?
Right. You
Never
never know about
Columbus.
Buffalo. Sooner or later, it has to work for Buffalo, doesn't it?
We talked about Finney in our pregame show, and he scores the goal to make it a one-goal game.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does in the preseason. Again, gets a chance to play with those guys as well.
Raymond trying to make a play, stopped a little bit there by Kane, and a little help from Ben Sherratt as that puck goes into the right corner. Carter Bear got it back towards the blue line. Berggren, who has a goal in the game, hands it off. Sandin Pellikka, left circle feed in front, and it's sent back to the blue line by Carter Bear. Nobody there, and that puck slides across the team red line.
Sandin Pellikka is a guy who all Grand Rapids is going to be keeping an eye on early this season.
Sider just laid out Bear, by the way.
Mo's got it going tonight, doesn't it?
He's been involved, no doubt about it.
5 big hits in the hockey game, 4 belong to Mo Sider.
From the line, Pellikka with a wrist shot, and that's knocked away out in front. And Postava may have gotten a piece of it as it rolls back towards the right point. Well, the puck comes to Sandin Pellikka. Backhands that puck into the corner. Berggren check, moved it down low to Comfer, who rolls it back to Berggren.
Nice.
To the line, good passing. Looks like Team Red got a little bit of a jump after that last goal by Finney. Appleton lost his stick. The puck comes out to center ice, and here's Berggren charging up across the line, and another penalty coming up. Berggren trying to feather it out in front.
Although I'm not so sure. None of the refs called the penalty. They just decided it's a penalty somewhere because no one's got their arm up.
Unless they're just getting an extra guy on.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it is with a minute 24
Yeah.
to go. Didn't look at the clock, but yep, they're trying to pull out all the stops right here.
Training camp for the broadcasters, too.
All right, Berggren has it in the corner. Team Red trying to tie it up here. They've got the extra attacker on the ice. Raymond, a lot of firepower out there for Team Red right now. Gustafson at the right point. Moves into the circle, drops it back. Pass across now. Raymond, long shot through traffic, and that one ends up into the corner with a minute to go, and Team White will shoot it down the ice. It's be an icing call.
Yeah, it's a training camp for the officials as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Not
right.
so
Didn't
sure
know.
what was happening there. Hey, by the way, was it music to your ears, that goal call just a moment ago?
Oh, yes.
Ken Cal.
Hell yeah.
Mid-season form goal call there, by the way.
Yeah, but I said it was Danielson and not
well,
Raymond. So
the score part was really good.
That's right.
all right, 52 seconds to go. What are you guys looking for here? What's the strategy? score, right?
Larry, you're the color analyst.
Well, obviously, they're going to try to rotate it around here, and we'll see Larkin in the bumper. Watch him try to work it down low, back out in front to Larkin in the bumper. That's what I'm going with. Nice clean draw win. That starts it.
Gustafson with a blast. He fired it wide. Red needs a goal here to tie it up, and Raymond couldn't hold it in.
That's another guy, Ken. Can he start producing like he once did? Gustafson.
Up across the line now, Larkin. Danielson tried to play it back down. It got blocked a little bit. Sider rolls it around the boards. Danielson knocked it down with a stick. Time winding down, 30 seconds to go. The puck is batted behind the net. Larkin in the corner, shovels it around the left side. Back to the blue line, it comes to Gustafson. Hands it off, Red Wings regroup now. Outside rim of the left circle, Raymond shooting it down into the corner. Danielson to Raymond again. Time winding down, gotta hurry. Here's a shot, and that one was saved by Postava. The puck came from the slot. Raymond worked it to the blue line, but it was in behind the point player. Brantzig Nygaard came out to center. And there goes the horn, and regulation ends. Team White with a 3-2 lead.
Nice chance by Brantzig Nygaard on that first opportunity there, but then got caught sneaking in, and the pass out of the zone.
All right, shootout coming up. Five shooters for each team, I believe.
You never know in these games.
Yeah,
that's the initial plan. We'll see if they stick to that, but you never know. They might roll through the whole entirety of the lineup, but
that would be great.
It's just great to be back. It was great to be in Traverse City, Ken. As you know, you've been going there for so many years. Although things are a lot different now, aren't they? And, the length of
wherever the Wings go, they get that great support. So Traverse City's done a great job not only putting that event on for people, but making sure that it's just a good time for everybody. Here you go with the shootout, Ken.
Rock, paper, scissors. Who's calling it?
You
I guess
are.
I will. Okay, here comes
Raymond.
Over the line. Moves wide to the left circle. Takes his time, makes his way in on Postava. Shoots and scores.
Nice little fake on the shot. Got the goaltender to bite. As soon as he did, pulled it to his right and put it home. And the Red get the first goal here in the shootout.
All right, Larry, you got this one.
No, you got the white case. I'm just the color guy.
I'll take Marco Kasper. What kind of a sophomore season will he have? I think it's going to be huge. Here's Kasper right in. Look at that move, and a goal for Marco Kasper. Oh my, did he undress?
Thank goodness we have video of that. And that would be a tough one to call on radio. Sold going across to the right, came back to the left, put it into the small.
All right, Larry, go ahead.
All right, Dylan Larkin walking in, going to fake to the backhand, little forehand shot. That one stopped rather easy.
Nice call.
All right, thanks.
You got a future. There's Alex DeBrincat.
He scored the first goal of the hockey game tonight.
All right, here's DeBrincat going wide to the right side this time. Cuts to the Meyer logo and backhands it, and a save made by Kosa.
Nice job reaching out there by Sebastian Kosa. Push it away.
Jonathan Berggren wasting no time. Gobbles up the puck, angling in. Forehand scores. He put it right over the right pad of Postava with a nifty little move.
Same kind of thing, going from right to left, put a little fake shot on and then pulled it back right into space and beat him.
All right, Larry.
Oh, you're up with Patrick Kane, buddy.
Kane moves in, slows down, stick handles, ran out of time, and Kosa stood move for move with him and made the save.
He does do a great job of just slowing down, and I don't know how goaltenders know where the heck to go when 88's going in on him.
All-time leader in the National Hockey League in shootout goals, by the way, Patrick Kane. Here's Nate Danielson in with the attempt for the red team and stopped as he tried to go 5-hole, and Postava shut the door on him.
Yeah, nice job staying with him even though he was moving from his right to his left.
All right, Larry, here's Kopp. Moving in, backhand, scores. Wow, that's a major league shot right there.
Yeah, straight down the ice on the goaltender, so he doesn't know you're going right or left, and he's a left-handed shot, pulls it to the right side and just flips it up and over. That's difficult to stop and very difficult to do as well. Here's your number one pick, Case.
Carter Bear. Stick handling in, went to the backhand, one too many moves there. The puck rolled away from him.
Did it roll off his stick?
Yeah, it did. Stick, yeah. But I think if he holds on to it, he made the move to get some space. He's a former Griffin.
All right, Michael Rasmussen with a wrist shot, trying to beat Kosa, who made the save.
Kosa's locked in now.
2-2 it appears in the shootout, if I remember correctly.
JT Comfer for the red team. Angles in. Shot, a good save. Getting the glove on it was Michael Postava.
Yeah, Postava just stayed with him. Got it on the left side. Made it look pretty easy, actually.
Right,
There's the big guy with 2 goals tonight. Can he get a third?
Soderblom moves in. Angles towards the middle of the ice. Fakes, shoots, and a save made by Kosa.
Yeah, nice job staying with it. Boy, Elmer's left-handed shot pulling that to his backhand to the right side. He's got Kosa going that way, and then Kosa is to bounce back to the left side when Soderblom went to the forehand.
Ransek Nygaard cutting in and never really had complete control of that puck.
Now that kid may have done that there. From what I saw of him last year, real briefly here, Case, he's going to adjust to the physicality of the NHL and the AHL faster than most people. Yeah, he's going to be good.
Here's Lombardi now making his way in towards the front. Backhand scores! Rock me Amadeus.
Rocket indeed. Pulled that one to his backhand and really
had himself a pretty good day.
Out with it pretty well. And they're going to say that is it. It's going to be a 3-2 white shootout win, a 3-2 white win. And a fun night here at Van Andel Arena as you get a look at the guys on both sides now coming out to salute the fans here in Grand Rapids, and they will do the same to the players as everybody in red and white up on their feet here.
Lombardi scores the winner in the shootout and
got a couple of
sets up Elmer Soderblom with especially the second goal with a beauty of a pass. So a pretty good day for Amadeus Lombardi, who will enter his third-year pro. With
a fun guy to watch in the preseason, don't you think?
Yeah. Be an important preseason for him, as it will be for a lot of these guys.
Right.
And then once that regular season starts, needless to say, you're hoping that